Can you say hard hats, folks? Hard hats, lunch pails, steel-toe boots?
Anything short of a championship this year is a failure. Look at this boomer right here.
You've just got so much talent here.
Somebody said we need to apologize for Jalen.
Can I quote it, John? What are we apologizing for? What did we say? What did we do?
Look at that. Feel that trailing out?
Still going. I like that.
Fading out. We got it. We added that, right?
So,
So that way,
I don't know how to stop it, though.
That's okay. We'll just keep it the whole show.
Ahmed, can it stop?
No, this is it. The whole.
It's a bed. We'll have a bed now. It's cool. Let it go for like 10 minutes.
Just let it go.
Fade
out.
Fade out in action, and we're live.
It's like the college radio station. They don't know it's still playing. Like, wait, what is that?
Play the first comment I see.
You guys suck.
I don't even know which clip that is now. Is that the 101?
Play the Bobby clip now.
Oh, if they lost tonight, if they had blown this one fully, we would have had to just gone straight Bobby clips. I think the whole show.
Without him here, come on.
To get us out, but just to get us through the show. It would have been a depressing show this way.
We're not going to lie. We're just going to filibuster here until the Chiefs game ends, and then we'll start talking about basketball.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
They're not stupid. They know. They know everything. These guys know.
That's true.
These guys are at least. I mean, if we're second screen, we're lucky right now, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, we're on someone's phone, and he's like watching on the side, not telling everybody.
Yeah. So this is the group that you've got tonight, and so you're gonna just live with it. Just live it, love it. That's not. We got a super chat. That's not the real JT. Don't be fooled. This is the real Jason Tatum.
Oh,
appreciate you, JT, giving us a little bit of that bag you got coming in. Appreciate those $2.
Jimmy wondering whether or not can we green this up? We'll leave it blue. It's blue is fine.
What am I wondering?
We're messing with the new with some new tech here.
Oh
yeah. And we wanted to make sure we could see super chats because when you guys send them like this,
there we go, green.
This is like sea green, but that's okay.
Kind of green. It's okay.
That's okay.
We're working on it, guys.
Are we worried about Tatum?
He's been
always. The answer is always. I'm gonna go. Tatum's gonna be the guy who we're gonna talk about because
here we go.
Gross
because he didn't have a triple double. Is that why?
I can't post comments today, otherwise I'd post this one that I can see.
Which one?
From Tatum.
He's got another one?
Yeah, he's got another really good one.
There we go. This one?
Yeah, there it is.
But that's not the real Jason Tatum.
Oh, so
now we've got dueling Tatums.
We got dueling Tatums. All right.
Yeah, this guy's a wannabe. The other one.
The one that just said that is my new favorite Tatum.
So what? It's all going to come down to basically. Wow, this is low. Jordan,
did you see? And again, it looks like.
Come on, he doesn't deserve that. Not yet.
This game. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, it's just like when we're talking about Tatum right now. I mean, he's not doing himself any favors with some of those 3-pointers that he's taking right now. It's the kinds that he always misses. It's the ones that he always misses, but he still keeps taking them. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, the whole conversation is going to be the mix of what do we got here? Look at this gold.
Oh, look what you guys started.
Whoa.
Play Bobby video. You guys just saw a preview. LOL. Fine.
We're going to end up seeing J King and Bobby Manning video by the end of the show.
I promise we'll get to it. If we start every show with it, you guys will.
Oh.
Don't say anything. There's no reason to watch if we do that.
Don't do that. You guys did that thing.
I thought we were talking about the game.
You guys reminded me of that the big Brady the comeback that fell short, man. That night I was like, guys, will we focus here? Come on.
Did you see what happened, John?
Wide right.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Wide right.
Scott Norwood. Wide right.
Something. Don't say it on the show.
Bass just sent it.
Norwood.
Very right.
Yeah.
Damn, that's tough.
That is tough.
My friend's a big Bills fan.
Someone had a triple double tonight. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Whoa, Jalen?
Yeah, that guy.
He also took about 3 quarters off, but that's cool.
But listen, it wasn't. I was gonna say it wasn't the prettiest performance, but a little bit of everything tonight. You know, we had a couple great passes, deflections. I thought that was big. You know, not the full on steals, but rattled the Rockets' offense at times.
Yeah, this kick was gross.
So bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, terrible.
Wow.
Rough.
That is bad stuff.
That is. Pray for Bills Mafia tonight, folks. A few of them are
They'll
not
be
going
all
to
right.
survive. There will be some Bills Mafia fans that may not survive the night. Pray for
They'll
them.
be all right.
That's tough. They're the saddest people in the world, and they just were made sadder. And so you guys should feel bad about that. I'm just saying. But anyway, the whole game's going to come down. We'll move on now. The whole game's going to come down to kind of Tatum and your level of concern. And there's going to be a group of people be like, "Shut up, he's fine. It's a stupid game. Every player, you guys don't watch any other basketball outside of the Celtics. Every superstar has these games." 100% right. But every superstar doesn't win a championship, and that's all that Jason Tatum is going to be judged upon. And we said it last game when he had a bad game that you're entitled to a bunch of bad games. If and when you win, you win at the end.
You got quite a predicament here, John.
Why?
The new super chat?
Dueling Tatums are going ham right now.
Are they? Oh, I left for a minute. What are you guys doing?
We just got a great
They're
one.
outbidding themselves, and they're saying one of them is requesting no Tatum talk.
Okay.
John, we can't talk about him now. You posted that.
Has this ever happened?
This never happened, but
that's a pretty penny there. What are we doing?
You just bought us. This is what happens in the media, guys. This is how you shape the media. This is like big pharma. This is like big pharma shaping.
No, we're not. We can't sell out, guys. Come on, we can't sell out.
Transactional journalism here. People need to chill out on Tatum. He ain't Jordan Poole. Bobby can beat. Okay,
Ooh.
whoa.
All right, let's talk about Tatum in that one then. See, this guy overlapped the other guy.
That's fine. But like, look, we said it last game too. You know, it's this. Look, disinterested games. Every superstar is going to have them. But like the whole Tatum thing is like we've said before, like my take isn't that Tatum and Brown grew up this year. It's that the other people accelerated their growth by being grown-ups all the time. And it just it's infectious. It's almost weird to show up and have these types of games and everyone be like, "What are you guys doing?" You know, like, no, that's not how you play basketball. So they've been better this year, but the fear is always going to be, what do these guys do? You know, like, what's he going to do when it matters? Because it's going to be the superstar down, and that's how it's going to follow there. And so you have these games and you're like, so you just didn't feel like doing it. And you're like, okay, but I get it. Like, I also get people saying chill, and I get it. Like, it's not the biggest deal. Every superstar has these guys. I don't want to friggin' play Houston tonight. We beat them by 120 points the other day. Like, can we just, and what happens? They build up a lead, they get up 15 points, and they're like, good, can we go now? And they stopped. And when you do that, NBA teams can catch up to you, and that's what happened. Then you have to work for it. Were they ever going to lose this game? No. But, I mean, go ahead. Let's panic meter your level of concern with Tatum, playing like ass.
Oh, if we gotta put a panic meter to it, I'm probably at like a 6 or so. But this is the reason why. I think
panic meter up.
For me, if Celtics fans are legitimately worried about that, the biggest reason I would say is because of what happened Friday night. And what I mean by that is the late game execution, who's going to get the ball at the end of the game. If it's fixed for Tatum every single night, then that's a problem, right? Especially on a team like this that has other guys that, we rant and rave about the other weapons the Celtics team has compared to last year and how much better they are. Well, look what happened tonight. I mean, Tatum hit a big 3-pointer. I give him credit for that. His first field goal since the second quarter came in that fourth quarter, gave the Celtics a little bit of cushion. But instead of going straight to Tatum, to finish out, what did they do? They went to Porzingis, and twice he had Thompson on the switch. And he made him pay for it twice. Those back-to-back buckets. I mean, mixing it up a bit, I think has to be part of the execution. I'm interested to see how this plays out tomorrow night, especially because this is going to be It's going to be a nail biter. I don't think this is going to be one of those lopsided games that goes either way. So going down to depending on how Tatum is playing throughout the first 3.5 quarters, will obviously dictate if he gets the ball. But I think a lot of it is that. I mean, if it's always going to be Tatum has to get the ball at the end of the game in tight situations, then yeah, that's going to be a problem because he's not always going to have these efficient shooting nights, and he hasn't lately, obviously. But I'm not ready to say I'm concerned because again, the Celtics aren't leaning on him to bail them out every single night like they used to.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And I throw this comment up here real quick, and Jimmy, I'm curious your concern meter check, but like this is what I don't know if this is towards people in the chat or towards what we're doing here. We're trying to not overreact, nor do I think we're overreacting. But it's if you don't talk about it, what's the point?
Bring it up.
What's the point of doing a show? You know, like that's kind of the point. So like, yeah, he sucked. And if they lose, it's his fault because he sucked ass all game. And yeah, he hit a big shot, but like, you know, that's what load management is for. Those are the games you don't show up for. They gave 2 guys the night off. That was Holiday and Horford. When you show up, you got to kind of play. You know, we've already seen this now a couple of times. It was a bad game last time out. And obviously the, extremely bad game where they sat all the starters against Milwaukee. Like that's a lot of no-shows, you know, and I don't think last game was an effort no-show, but like I don't want to pick and choose, you know, like all of these things. So what's your thoughts, Jimmy? Does it bug you or are you like whatever?
It bugs me, but I'm not panicked. It's not something that I'm concerned about to the point where, you know, I think it's going to be a problem moving forward. I mean, I was the one that was upset about Friday's game. You guys said it didn't really matter. I said that it did. Tonight, I think a lot of people said, well, if they go and beat Houston by 40, then who cares? Well, I don't care if they go and beat Houston by 40. I care if they would have lost the game. So I guess they're kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't situation. But for Tatum specifically, for me, it's falling into like the lazy habits offensively. And by that, it's the shots. Like he wants to play with his food, dribble through the legs, step back jumper. And it just hasn't worked for him. And it's not working for him now. It wasn't working before. And I don't see something that's magically going to change. When he's aggressive, and honestly, I'll give him this. He has improved. Like his bag has gotten bigger on his way to the hoop when he actually chooses to do that and takes the few extra steps to get to the basket and gets to the line. Yes, Josue. That's when he's at his best. And then the threes aren't forced and they're not, you know, he doesn't end up with, 10 three-pointer attempts and hits 2 of them. You know, that's when I do get annoyed with, and John, you mentioned it, when you're a superstar, you're expected to show up every single game. You shouldn't be taking games off mentally or whatever. You have to lead your team. You're the people that everyone's falling in behind. And the NBA, on any given night, I mean, it's not like the NFL, but you can't take things for granted because it's a talented league. And yeah, I mean, a team like the Pistons, you might get away with, whatever, or, there's a couple of teams that you can probably get away with sitting a couple of guys, but Houston plays hard. They're not a team where you can just sleepwalk through. Ime's got his guys playing tough basketball at certain points. So I don't think you can just no-show games. And so, again, on a night like where they were short a point guard, I think, again, when you have Tatum trying to take on more of a role, more of a point role because Holiday's out, for example, or if White's out, we said it last game, late in games, they tend to focus too much on Tatum or Brown. And that, I think when you're giving them too much to do, causes turnovers, causes bad decisions. If you let the guards be the guards, get Tatum and Brown into their positions for the good shots, you're in a better position to score. Otherwise, he's trying to do too much. The point Tatum and the point Brown stuff, I've never liked that. So,
did we miss this
one?
What
is going on here?
No, that might be the same one.
Is it the same one?
I thought it was a 10 spot. 100 bones.
It was 100, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
Damn, John, you think I called $10 a pretty penny? Yeah.
Next topic. Jalen sucks, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised we didn't get a stronger reaction out of you. I'm like, I think you're missing a zero out of there, John.
Yeah,
like,
no, it was $100.
No Tatum talk. Like this guy's not playing. Like
he's not playing around.
Those are dollars. Those aren't.
Yes, this is not friggin'. These aren't rupees here.
Rupees.
They're not rupees. Somebody commented that somebody's mom's credit card just got charged $100.
He turned off her notifications. So We're good. She won't notice.
It's like that game Roblox. I don't know if you know that the kids play. I had a couple of my buddies complaining that like their like 9 and 10-year-old daughters racked up the add-ons there.
Oh, is it one of those like you buy coins and stuff?
We got like $375 in charges one week. We're like, kid, you know?
Yeah, jeez. That's awesome. Thanks, Tatum, even though I'm not sure which one you are at this point.
I don't know. There's so many Tatums out here. So look, again, it's not.
What's your take?
My take is I don't care, but I hate if I say that.
You don't care about what?
I don't care that he shows up.
That he's slumping right now.
Ben Vallis put it. He was playing awesome before. So I don't give a crap about it. Ben Vallis, host of the one of the hosts of the First of the Floor podcast on CLNS Media, commented, "This is modern day load management." I totally agree with that. I think that's perfectly fair.
Yeah.
It's like show up, half-ass it. The only problem there is like if the rest of your team didn't get the memo, it's like, we got to carry your sad ass too. You know, we're already down 2 guys, and it's like, you know. So
White always wants to do that. Derek's always up for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly that. I think this is Tatum too, but I don't know.
Tatum too.
So I don't care. I don't care at all, and I don't agree with all of these. I don't agree with he's mellow, he's mentally weak. Again, the Tatum.
I used to say that mellow thing years ago, but no, he's past that. He gave me mellow vibe.
The story will be written. The Tatum story will be written at a later date, and he'll either figure it out, be the alpha on a championship team, or 2, and everyone will say, well, it just took a little time. You know, a lot of guys don't do it till their age 27, 28 year. We've been saying that all along, blah, blah, blah. Or he won't. And then we'll say he's mellow. You know, like you don't know yet, but this is the year the heat's on him.
I see it more. I'm seeing flashes of the alpha more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm seeing it to the point where I'm like, dude's a cold killer. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not where I'm at.
He's not a dog, as Paul Pierce would say.
Yeah, that was an interesting video that Pierce and KG had. KG called Tatum a dog. It didn't seem like Pierce didn't really have a comment either way on it.
No. The way I took it was KG was just rattling off names, and he was just like, to me, there's a lot of there were names that weren't.
No, he said Anthony Davis as a dog, and Pierce almost fell out of his seat.
When he said Julius Randle, I was like, that's
no.
But Tatum's one of them. You know, he's a dog. Would you say that? I mean, he hasn't been playing that way, but we've seen him put monster performances together that were
tough. I mean, we've seen it. I just don't know if I've seen it consistently enough where I just my brain doesn't automatically go to that when I'm thinking about Tatum. I think he's more of a smooth operator out there than a dog. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel.
It's the same stuff with him. He can take over games, and he does it a lot. And you see it, and sometimes he just goes into that mode. He's much stronger getting to the basket than he's ever been before.
That's the part that I like about him.
You know, and so he can do that. So he can get stuff with sheer will. When it's not going great, when he's got a tough defender on him, or when the shots aren't falling, or he's not getting the whistle, you still just see a lot of the pouting stuff. You know, and that's fine. It's not fine. You'd rather not, but I'm not going to make that everything until it becomes everything. That's kind of the point. Like, I'm willing to give Tatum, not willing to give him. He's doing everything he's supposed to be doing, but now it's like there's only one thing left to do, and that's win. And so they either win or they don't. Like, that's it. He does it, or then you start saying, like, I don't know, man. What else are you going to give these guys? Are you just going to wait? Like, well, just wait till he's 30 and he really starts to, you know, get it. You know, like, I think it's now. You know, I think
it has to be now. For sure. I just think it's a matter of.
I think they're there. I think he should be there.
Yeah,
in addition to his experience, their championship experience, all of that. Like, the expectations of Tatum is like, you're at that point where like you're the 27, 28 in our mind, just based on how long you've played at this high a level, and just do it. You know,
right?
Just get it done. You know,
I think he's there, but you just wonder how long these stretches are going to last. I mean, you remember a couple of years ago, they would go on for 2 weeks, you know, some of these awful 3 for 17 or 4 for 16 performances. And, you know, tonight wasn't that different, but you you don't expect this thing to last as long as it used to, right? He usually corrects it, and he finds other ways to be effective. Things we've been talking about all season long, whether it's the rebounding, whether it's being more of a playmaker that first half. But how he responds is really what's gonna say where he's at. And I think he responds in a big way against the Mavericks. I really do. I mean, he shows up for big matchups. I mean, he hasn't done it in the last couple of games. He's been kind of, his shot at least hasn't been
he didn't show up in Denver against Denver, Joseph.
He didn't show up against Denver. That's true. So, but back to back, well, not back to back, but 2 performances in a row, he typically responds. So I'm expecting a big performance out of him against the Mavs.
I'd like to see it. It's just, yeah, I mean, we know he's capable of it. It's not like, and I think that's what it is now. It's like you have higher expectations for Jason Tatum. So when he does string together, or when he does go into a bit of a shooting slump, or there's a couple of quote unquote no-show performances, people's antennas are going to go up. People are going to notice it a lot sooner than they used to, or than they would have a different player, because the caliber of the player is much higher in Jason Tatum. So you have to bring it. Like LeBron James, Kobe, those guys, like, yeah, they had off nights, but they were bringing it. I mean, they were always bringing it.
Bring it.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
All right. That's our Tatum talk for the night. No, nobody's overly concerned. We're not lighting fires, but if they lose, he's the headline. They win, it's just kind of like Tatum sucked tonight, but who cares? We will talk about what went well, and we do like that Porzingis once again lit it up early. But then they looked for him late again. Yes, that's what you're supposed to do. And then Brown contributed, as you said, lots of different ways where, you're kind of curious where, which direction his game was going to go tonight. And honestly, it was pretty impressive. The Celtics were playing as well as they were playing and built up as good a lead as they built up without Holiday and Horford. And then with the Jays not really playing great through the early part of the game, and then they kind of let it slide away a little bit there. So we'll get to all of that stuff. But first off, tell you real quick, shout out to FanDuel. I will say this, I believe a game or two ago, Jimmy, I said my bet of the weekend was Kansas City money line. Ding, 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 ding. If you followed me, you followed me to the promised land. You want to get in on the NFL action? We are in conference championship weekend. Next weekend, it is the Ravens and the Chiefs. Curious to see what that line is. Jimmy, you want to pull it up? And then Niners and Lions. We did not get to see our long-suffering Lions-Bills Super Bowl matchup, which a lot of people wanted to see those fan bases get rewarded. Buffalo, man, I don't know what they do next. But anyway, if you want to get into the action, there's still plenty of time to sign up. Go to FanDuel.com/Boston. Get $150 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet. Once again, FanDuel.com/Boston. Deposit 10, bet 5, $150 in bonus bets. It is as good as yours. It is not real money. It is bonus bucks that you can use to win actual money and place that. And as I said, it's just free cash that you can bet with and see if you can turn that into something real. Restrictions do apply. Make sure you check out the website. Also want to give a quick shout out to HelloFresh. Okay. Nope, I've moved on. HelloFresh. HelloFresh.com/CLNS free. The free means, we'll circle back to that right after this. The free means breakfast is free for life. Every time you order a meal kit from HelloFresh using this promo code at HelloFresh.com/CLNS free. Use that code CLNS free. Free breakfast items for life. Get in on this right now. Get yourself right. Get your meal plan customized here as we've entered the new year. Whatever you want, they've got it, constantly changing up their menu options. You can go gluten-free, keto, paleo, whatever it is that you're doing, veg, low carb, all sorts of different things to customize it to your diet. Farm fresh ingredients sent to your door, restaurant quality meal, 15, 20 minutes later, bang, you're done. Super easy, really good. Everybody here at the Garden Report has gotten many a meal kit sent to them over times. We all have our favorites. You guys should check it out and see what you're into. Once again, HelloFresh.com/CLNS free. Jimmy, what did you say about FanDuel? We'll circle back real quick.
Yes.
The lines are.
Show this real quick.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
damn.
That's what that is.
He's doing the Jimmy phone thing.
What is that, like a mac and cheese or something? What's going on there?
No, it's on the stove. It's a shepherd's pie.
Oh, I did that.
Gotcha.
I did that one.
Bomb, right?
Yeah.
That's
one of my favorite ones.
It's a good winter meal, shepherd's pie. It's a great winter meal.
It is.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
FanDuel lines are out for
pasta dishes too,
AFC and NFC championship. What do you have a guess, John, or do you want me to just give it to you?
I'm going to say Baltimore minus. Let's go. Baltimore minus 6.
No, -3.
I was going to say 5.5. Only 3. That's
Baltimore
interesting.
-3. Yeah, that's the initial line. We'll see how it moves, but that's just right now. And then
Wow,
Detroit Niners. It is.
that's got to be a touchdown, right?
Yeah, it's Niners -7.
Yeah. Okay.
So get your bets in, folks, and then you can use your bonus bets and all that stuff.
Yeah, why not? Early predictions. I think Baltimore's going to. I've been saying all year, it's Casey's to lose because I didn't believe in anybody. I think Baltimore might be too much for them.
I just don't. Yeah, I haven't been that impressed by KC this year. I'm surprised they even got this far, to be honest. So I'll go with. I'm not impressed by the Ravens that much either. I think the AFC's been wide open this year, but I'd probably go with the Ravens, and then I'm going to be cheering for the Lions, but I'd be pretty surprised if they beat the Niners.
I think those teams are too good on both sides of the ball. Ravens and the Niners. It's just really hard, and they beat you up. And it's just it's just hard. They'll just wear you down. You got to play in your perfect game.
Yep.
So heading back into this one, let's talk. Where do you want to go, KP or JB?
I want to talk about Porzingis.
Yeah, go for it.
I thought that this dude was awesome tonight. 5 blocks, 5 rebounds, 6 3-pointers.
He was awesome.
There's only a handful of guys in the league that can put up those types of numbers, and I mean, and a handful might be a lot. There's only
and then to Indy also.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing working against him, Josue, is probably games played, maybe, but he has been playing awesome for this team, and it just goes to show again. I don't want to belabor the point here, but go to this guy more. Go to him more. He should be taking minimum 15 shots a game, minimum, every single game. Even if it's 15 to 20, I'd be happy with that. Go to him late. Go to him early. Don't have to disappear from him late in these games like they did, again, against Denver when he wasn't part of the offense at all. And there's been a lot of other examples throughout the course of the season where they default to Tatum and Brown, where you have in my opinion, you have a killer in Porzingis. This dude's all over the place. Mm-hmm. He's blocking guys. He's blocking 7-footers out there. He's hitting threes. He can score, one of the best low post scorers in the game. I want to see him do a lot more scoring on the block. He's a complete player on this team. And if you want to criticize Missoula, I think you can criticize him for not getting Porzingis involved enough.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Jimmy. I really do, especially when you look at what happened Friday night and just overall throughout the season. I mean, it tends to fade. It happens in the first quarter so much. Teams are overwhelmed, and then all of a sudden, by the fourth quarter, they're not doing that anymore. And what I mean by that is just running the offense through him. It's kind of similar to what KG was to the Celtics offense years ago. Where it's like he doesn't always have to get the shot, but you run it through him, and opposing defenses just can't take their eyes off, and it just opens up the offense. It's just that's been the biggest difference, if any, about the Celtics offense this year compared to last. And for some reason, that's not part of the equation down the stretch. I mean, or at least not on the offensive end of the floor. He rarely has the ball in his hands in those situations, especially if it's a really close game. Now, clearly, I mean, obviously Tatum and Brown, they've been here long enough where they're conditioned to get the ball in those particular moments, but it's up to someone like Joe Mazzulla to switch things up every once in a while, throw a curveball in there, do things that you were doing already throughout the game that you tend to just get away from in the fourth quarter. And especially when you have someone like Porzingis, who, let's face it, he's not going to say, "Hey, coach, can I get the ball next play, please?" Like, he's just not that kind of guy, right? He's not going to be like, "Hey guys, I don't know what I need to do here but I would love if I could get an opportunity in the foot." That's not going to happen. And that's a good thing, but also it puts Mazzulla in a position where he has to fix that. He has to maximize Porzingis. Like, come on.
I think you're both on there, and I think that's fair. I'm not huge on Joe criticism either, in the sense that I just think it goes way over the top. But it's the small stuff like this, like just
you're not going to go Kendrick Perkins on him.
But it's just stupid. Like I said, it's like, look, again, there's so much that goes into each game beyond what we're able to fully understand. But some of the very simple stuff, like, let's not forget that this guy plays for us, is pretty simple, and then right. and then just putting him in some actions where you can get him involved. It's very strange to this player empowerment thing has driven me nuts, since the days of Brad, and handed down, and it's a little bit of everywhere. I know, was it Tatum the other day said that Ime is kind of a mix of those guys. he has a system he wants to run, but he lets the players kind of do their own thing. And like, that's fine and good. But like, sometimes it's just look at what's happening in the game. To me, Porzingis is like 100 mile an hour fastball. Like, until somebody shows me they can hit it, I'm just going to keep piping that thing down.
Firing it.
I'm just going to keep piping that thing down the middle and friggin' I dare you to catch up. I'm not going to the junk. You know, like if the 7'2" guy's just shooting up over the top of people and hitting everything, let them figure it out.
Try to reinvent the wheel here.
It's not crazy. So like when he goes off on these things, it's just like, these are just, it looks like a dad playing on an 8-foot hoop with his kid sometimes. Like, it's so easy. It's silly that you go away from it. And it's silly that you're not looking for it more. So that to me absolutely is something where Mazzulla could be like, hey, same thing with like back in those days where Brown would disappear and be like, don't let Brown disappear. You know, like, don't let the guy who's friggin' got flames coming out of the back of his head just disappear because you forgot you put him in the corner and nobody gave him the ball anymore because Tatum's walking it up and you're running the same action every single time, just a high pick and roll, and just the ball just never goes anywhere. Like, that stuff's simple. Like, hey, let's work it around. Let's get Jalen moving into this and that. And I totally agree on that stuff. And they went with it more in this game, which is great, you know, and Porzingis was big early. Porzingis was good late.
And plus, Sengun looked just a bit overwhelmed, or maybe he was just trying to do a little bit too much. But it was one of those where it's like fourth quarter, it's a close game. Get the Porzingis and see what happens. And then they did the switch, you know, and try to get the stop, and they couldn't do it, you know, for back-to-back possessions. And I just think that's just something that it's a small example of what should be a weapon you use at the end of the fourth quarter. I just don't understand why it doesn't happen more often.
I mean, because Friday he only took 11 shots. You know, and of course the matchups are going to be a little bit more difficult, but you have to figure out a way to get this guy a minimum 15 shots, and really upwards of 20 would be fine by me. And it's not just Friday. We'll just go down the line. I'm going to read you guys his shot field goal attempts over the last, I don't know, I'll just go down the line. Okay. 11.
I can't wait. This is the best part of the show. We've been talking about doing this all
11. No, real quick.
Like that 2 extra seconds that just killed the momentum.
These are the attempts.
11-6, 11-9. Go ahead, Jimmy.
11-6, 11-6, 11-9, 13-2. Because something must have happened there. Yeah,
that was the eye game. He got poked in the eye.
And 7 after that, 18-14, and then 21. So December 28th, he took 21 field goal attempts. And up until tonight, January 21st, he had never reached the 20 field goal attempt plateau or marker. So get this guy 20 shots a game. He's hot right now. He's been hot all year. Like John said, let the 7'2" guys figure it out.
You really do wonder.
I hope he plays tomorrow, by the way. He might not.
A fun experiment. I'm just curious how it would go. Let's say they played the next 20 games and said, let's pretend our best players are White and Porzingis, and that Tatum and Brown are complementary. And those guys, I want them to shoot 20 plus times, and Tatum and Brown, you guys each get 12, 13 shots a game. Yeah. I'm just curious what the results would look like. I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying those guys are better than them. It's just interesting that it is the way that it is because that's what you just assume it's supposed to be. Tatum's the alpha, Brown's the 1A guy. They're going to get theirs, and everyone else just kind of is like, okay, I'll take a little less. But like, those guys are so freaking good right now. And again, you can make arguments about who's the best, the second best, the third best. I mean, not the best, I think, you know, whatever, but I Tatum's going to win that one. But I am curious what this team would look like if you just forgot everything you ever knew, woke up the next day, and Joe just made it the White and KP show and just let them be the alpha dogs in this offense. What would they look like?
Well, how many times did Houston not stop the ball? You know, and you look over and it's Derek White, and it's like that guy just crushed you 3 times in a row. Like, once you stop it, and I think a lot of the reason was because the Rockets are anticipating that last pass. They're always anticipating that last pass, and they always assume it's going to be Jalen, it's going to be Tatum. Then all of a sudden, you know, White's got 20 plus points, and most of it's in the paint. So I think that's a mistake that a lot of teams often do, especially the younger ones like the Houston Rockets, who don't have their best backcourt defender and Van Vliet, and you know that was a big hole in the backcourt in this game, but. I mean, I think a lot of the time, look, not to knock what White's doing though, he's just a beneficiary of those situations. I mean, teams just have their you know blinders on when it comes to just the big three, so to speak, with Porzingis, Jalen, and Tatum, and White is the guy who takes advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, John,
and look,
Jalen's in the house.
This is fair. We talk about this all the time. It's Tatum is always going to get the top defenders and the extra attention, and he's going to get doubled. And it's always harder. Life is harder for Jason Tatum than it is the other guys. The other guys,
he's a dog, guys. That's why. All right.
The other guys are as good as they are because they don't have to deal with that stuff. That's totally understood. 100%.
Well, because teams know that Tatum can have one of those nights where it's just ice cold in the first half, and then he drops 37 in the second. Like he's done it, plenty of times that teams they're worried about that. They don't want that to happen. So, I mean, Houston, they just took away all of this space in this game. I thought they did a terrific job of just making them uncomfortable, forcing other guys to play, which is why you got a big performance out of Porzingis and another one out of Derek White.
And this is wrong. White can create his own shot, and White can get into the lane, and White's extremely good at that. And White also
that's why he torches teams, because people just leave him be, or he's got a one guy on him and he crosses him up, and all of a sudden he's gone. When
he's really good at coming off screens, he's really good at finding his spots and getting to the right spot. I mean, he can absolutely get his shot off. But the Tatum thing, this is the fair thing is with Tatum, the teams that don't have an alpha dog defender and try to play him straight up get murdered. Like if they're not doubling him or giving him an extra attention, you're going to get murdered unless you've got somebody who you think can really bother him or is long and athletic. And you've seen him have, some of those. Not struggle. I mean, sometimes struggle, but see life is harder in those games. Yeah. Jimmy, look it up.
I'm looking up right now. Somebody asked how many field goal attempts does Porzingis have in the fourth quarter? He averages 2.1 field goal attempts.
And I agree with this too. I think life would be easier on Tatum and Brown if you ran it through and again got KP more touches, let Derek White handle the ball. I agree with that 100%.
2.1 is insane. Granted, the Celtics have had a handful of blowout wins in the season, but that's still really low.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder we have to kind of compare that to the rest of the players, I guess.
Yeah. All right, Jaylen Brown minute, guys. What do we have here? Triple double assists don't count. Count the potential assists. So they were high tonight, I think.
Forgot about potential.
Oh, now we care about it.
Oh, yeah. Man. What do you think of his game, though?
I liked it. He stayed engaged. He didn't just fade. Especially when it was a 7-point game. I felt like he took it on his. It was the initiative. And again, I talked about it earlier. The defense. Just the getting those deflections, forcing turnovers. And then getting back on defense. So it wasn't just about, I got to score to make sure the Rockets don't come back. But he was doing things on the defensive side that just made you think, like John said earlier, like, okay, they're not going to lose this game. I mean, after the 11-0 run that Rockets did in the third, and they went on that 9-0 run in the fourth, it was like they're not going away as quickly as they should. But Jaylen helps stop the bleeding for sure.
Yeah, I thought he had a solid game tonight. Certainly, it's hard to – you're not going to criticize the guy after a triple-double. What?
Ahmed, hunt this one down.
Tonight? Oh, man. G caught a stray. I shouldn't even say a stray. It's never a stray.
It's a direct shot.
It's like literally aimed right at him.
It's like
a bow and arrow. Direct. He's like –
just so you don't get confused. Like, yo, watch out. Yeah, Gary.
Everyone out of the way. I'm directing this at Gary.
Gary's doing the head shake. Like,
is that you? Let me get to, Gary.
Nope.
And then he had a pattern where he was doing like a sidebar right after the presser were done.
No. That's too bad.
Oh, boy.
It was an assassin. Oh, man.
Oh, last game. They're talking about last game? All right. Sorry. I thought it was this game.
Last game?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, man. We didn't get them.
If it happened tonight, I'm curious. Yeah, you guys were there. You guys were there.
Yeah, you guys were there.
Well, the only thing he said was the.
He said last game.
Yeah, when he said, I thought of Gary about the layups thing.
Oh God, did he go back to the layups again?
But I'm saying that wasn't that bad. If you're talking about Friday, that's what he said. I don't think that's it. It must have been something tonight.
No. They're saying it was last night. All right, fake news, false alarm. We jumped out on it. It's like when Bobby texts us something that happened like a year ago, and then I tweet it. Oh, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
And then I tweeted.
Is Bobby out partying tonight?
Bobby deserves
we'll
deserves a night.
We'll give it to him. A little Sunday fun day for the kid.
Yeah, absolutely. He's all right. But yeah, so JB pulls it together. Porzingis is definitely the big dog here. My favorite moment of the game was definitely what was my favorite moment?
Cornette had a couple stops there. Huh?
Yeah, Cornette was solid, but it was the Derek White block at halftime. I laughed about it for like 5 straight minutes. You just never see that.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, because he just sprinted off like
I'll do it, and White's like. No one expects anyone to block that shot outright. The risk reward is too high. But White's like, I'm gonna get a stat here.
He's like, I'm gonna pad that block stat.
You almost picture him like doing like a quick got him on the way out. Like
it was so funny.
Pad those stats, baby.
The bench coming off, Cornette's smile was like this. They thought it was so funny.
He just walked right off. Well, real quick about Cornette though, I should say though, he quickly corrected an awful mistake he made on defense, and he did it back-to-back defensive possessions. It drove me crazy where Segun had the bailout with Thompson down low, and it's like, why are you doubling Segun? He's not Jokic. It's like he was thinking it was Friday night or something.
He's close.
He gave up those
he's
layups.
Not close, but he's
I know what you mean. Yeah, at first I was like, but yeah,
his game, his style is.
He's having one of those seasons for sure. But it happened one time, and then 30 seconds later, it's like you're gonna let that happen again. So it drove me crazy, but he made up for it with the two blocks.
Luke gets some love tonight, I think.
Yeah, I thought he did well tonight too. He played fine. There's not a lot of we criticized Tatum off the top, but after that, there wasn't a ton that stood out to me.
I mean, Hauser was fine. Hauser built a friggin' fire station tonight. Like
he was bad, and he was bad last game too.
Oh God, my daughter was watching the game with me, and one of the things I tell her, she's smaller. She's one of those kind of like late bloomers. Is don't launch it so high on the shots because you're expending so much energy to get it high. That like it's throwing off your aim because like ultimately it's going to travel that distance, but when you're throwing it way up in the air, you're messing with everything.
You're just trying to get it over.
Yeah, and I was like, you just got that perfect little art. And then she's watching Hauser, and she's like, "Daddy, is he shooting moon balls?" And I was like, "Yeah, he is." I was like, "He's kind of used to it, but yeah, it's way too much art."
Yeah, especially this year, man.
She was watching him. She's like, "Dad, that looks bad." And I was like, "Yeah,
Well, yeah. Sometimes he hits the rafters. It's crazy. He launches them.
Yeah, 3 of 12.
They go.
All the shots for 3-pointers too.
And there was one pass where he caught it like from his ankles. It was like that's not going in.
Yeah, they go in. They go in sometimes. No, I mean
they do go in sometimes, but lately, no.
He was chucking. I love those lines for him too. When he attempts as many as he had, 3 of 12 from the field, 3 of 12 from 3.
It was usually like 2 of 11. But no,
you have one job, dude.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah.
It's just so arky.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's gross when it gets And
he pulled like one of those the move that Ray used to do in the corner where like he doesn't have to look down and it looked great, but just the release everything about it looked great, but the way you just knew it wasn't going in. He's just having one of those slumps.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you know what you got with him. So
yeah, right. I mean, he has improved obviously, since he came, I think he's played better than any of us ever expected he would. And yeah, tonight's kind of it's not like he's always just shooting 3-pointers. He has established a little bit of a mid-range game there, and he's not a black hole on defense either. So
yeah, for sure,
he didn't warrant the playing time. But a night like tonight is not what you're looking for. 25%. Good job.
I'll always look back at the those years where they were Celtics were just trying to find that shooter. They were giving everyone the tryouts, they're giving everyone those opportunities, and remember the Corey Matthews and the what is it? Would you consider
Corey Matthews?
Yeah, that's his name. The tatted up dude. He's in Atlanta now.
Oh, I thought Corey Matthews was Boy Meets World.
Is it Corey? It might not be Corey. I think it's Corey, isn't it?
Corey Matthews. Boy Meets World. He dated Topanga, cheated on her.
No, I know. I'm familiar, man. That was my show back in the day. That was my show. That was my dude. But anyways, I always look at Hauser as the guy who the Celtics finally got that shooter, And last year he struggled to just, stay with someone on defense, And he's just made so much improvement on that, the end of the floor. But yeah, I never worry about these slumps because he's going to come out of it. He's going to even the score at some point. But when you look back at the other shooters that have come and gone throughout the Celtics, I mean, maybe Max Strus could be one. Maybe you swap those two out, but I still take Hauser. I just like the way he's grown throughout between last year and this year, and I think he'll continue to do that this year by the end.
Yeah, we're talking about
they need him because they're not going to make a trade at the deadline. I don't think.
Not for someone that was taking Hauser position. I don't think. Yeah.
Nor do they need to. Not in the sense that like they couldn't improve. Everyone can improve. I just think they can't improve given what they can trade for.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I
just don't have to be internal guys internally stepping up.
And that's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. Like you've already done all of it. Like there is when you make trades when you make two monstrous trades before the season, you did your work already. Like you made the team better. Like can't be stupid about it.
No, I agree.
And get super greedy. They've done this multiple years in a row now where they're making their moves. You made the Derek White trade at the end of a year. That was your addition for the next year. Then you get Brogdon, and that's an addition heading into the year. Like there's not much you're going to do here. I think everything like, the TPE and this type of guy and this and that. I mean, you're in Mike Muscala land in terms of what you're going to bring over here.
That's what I'm thinking too, man. Yeah. Exactly, I'm thinking that kind of player, a wing version of that. Garrison Matthews is his name, so yeah, it's not Corey.
I knew it wasn't Corey.
The more I said Corey, I was like, I don't think his first name's Corey.
Corey Matthews,
Garrison, Corey. Come on,
somebody Google if a Corey has ever played for the Celtics.
The only Corey I even know in the NBA.
Not even Corey Joseph. I don't think played there.
Corey Brewer is the only
Corey Brewer, yeah, Florida.
Yeah.
Yes.
Minnesota.
The Gators.
I was a fan of his. I liked him a lot. I thought he was going to be better.
He
had a longer career though.
A couple times he was available. I'm like, why not get that guy? And it's just never.
He's fun to watch.
Where's Josh Jackson? Or who was the guy we almost?
Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson. Yo, what happened to him?
He got somewhere, man.
He was in the G League like a couple years after his draft. That draft class, man.
Remember he
hit or miss.
He wouldn't work out for the Celtics, right?
He wouldn't talk to Ainge. He wouldn't return Ainge's calls. They flew out there, and he's like, nah, or whatever,
Yeah, and he was never good.
Never. That's another guy I kind of sort of wanted them to take a flyer on, like 2.0 after he'd already kind of flamed out a couple places. But yeah.
Corey McGinn.
Yeah, you usually have your eyes out for those kind of guys, man.
I love those guys.
Yeah.
I love the guys that had high pedigrees.
They're not making a whole lot of money,
And they flamed out, and they didn't get that second contract, and they're kind of floating. And you're like, can I resurrect this guy? Can I tap into what it was? What people saw initially?
Right.
It doesn't always work, but
at that stage of that person's career, they're willing to do anything for you. So it's kind of like take it or leave it type of thing. And sometimes it hits, sometimes not.
Yeah. That's that. What else you guys got?
I didn't even know that. What else do we got? On this game, I don't have much more, to be honest.
What are they doing?
He made a bit more fiery tonight. I feel like he was like, "Come on, guys!" Like kind of trying to keep that energy all 4 quarters. And to his credit, his guys play their asses off for him. Just couldn't get the win, obviously. But I feel like he was just really he really wanted this one, or at least he wanted to come down to the wire and pressure the Celtics to come up with that big play at the end.
It has to be a little frustrating, right? Like knowing that like you can't win these games ever. They don't
have Van Vliet playing. Like they don't even have their guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think he liked the challenge of trying to do it without Van Vliet. But it's like. Sure. Even if he's in the mix, Celtics should still win this game.
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan Brooks gave him 25 tonight.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the
Grant shooting, but
the Grant revenge game?
Is Grant gonna get any playing time?
I think that's one of the many factors, or that's one of the many reasons I think Tatum goes off in this game. I really do.
I don't think Tatum really cares about Grant, does he?
I mean, Grant, Kyrie, it's not like, I'm doing this to go against Grant, but it's just like, even better, Like,
Well, he lost his starting gig, but he's still playing the minutes.
Kyrie's going off,
and Kyrie's been going off, but Grant's still even though he got bumped from the starting lineup, he's still getting his 20 minutes or so a night.
Yeah,
ish.
He's putting up very Grant-esque.
No, he cratered. He had a good.
I know, he's cratered with the Celtics too, John.
But he had a good. He got that 3-point percentage up over 40, and that was always his value. In addition to being able to be the 3-and-D guy, that he could play play defense and be switchable and be able to guard multiple positions and all of that stuff. But in the last couple of months, it's just been really bad. Month of January, he shot 32% from 3, 39 from the field, and it's 36-24. So far through January. So he's just down, where he started off and he was, a lot better. And Bobby would send us his box scores every single night.
Bobby's been quiet.
Well, it's so weird how that stopped. I wonder why.
Yeah.
And then, so the Mavericks, they're a fringe. They're like a fringe playoff team, kind of. They're in the middle of the pack, I guess. 6.
They'll be trying to do something at the trade deadline for sure.
Yeah. So the comment from Amit shared Missoula, that's why you put so much stock in them. That's why you believe in them. They have to help you win games like that. Talking about the luxury of players like Porzingis and the bench who step up when the Jays don't have it going like they did tonight. Yeah, I mean, Porzingis is more than a luxury. What we're kind of arguing is that he should be an integral part of the team. Like, that's what we're talking about, right?
You ever wonder, and I'm just thinking about this right now. I'm just going to throw it out there. You ever think that like Joe just doesn't want to like make that like a thing so that it's not like at the end of every game you're wondering, he has to wonder, okay, it should go Jalen or Tatum or Porzingis. I don't know. Not to say that like he wants to take the ball out of, not to say that he's afraid to take the ball out of Tatum and Brown's hands in those situations, but something tells me that he doesn't want to make that a pattern.
They all are, and they don't ever want to talk about it. Not only that, they don't
want to talk about it, right? They've
gone in the other direction with it. Like, we're not here for that,
right?
Like that's not what we're here to do. We are here to support and to play our part, and these guys are the guys. Like, there's very much it's their team, and that's that. So that's amazing, right? Like, no ego at all. Like, you really do. You believe it, right? Like with Brogdon, we didn't buy it fully. Like, he said it for a while, and then at the end it was like, it was a really hard season. I'm like, oh, so you didn't love being on a team.
So you weren't a fan of this, right? Especially you say in the beginning of the playoffs, it's like, what? So you didn't. So you weren't
really a fan of this. And I think the Brogdon MO, behind the scenes that people didn't talk about was, and this is wounding Jimmy's soul because he was a big Brogdon guy. But I think the reality with Brogdon was he says all the right things publicly, but behind the scenes, like, I don't think people necessarily bought it, and I didn't really feel like he was part of the team. These guys are instantly part of the team. Instantly, Porzingis, instantly, and they get it. And I believe 100% that they're like, I don't give a crap if I take 3 shots, if we win it. And
but Porzingis is a starter, so that's a little bit different.
Yeah, you got to give him right. He was, but again, you look at just how far down they've come in terms of what's expected of them, particularly offensively. And, a guy like Holiday, he's in a contract year, and he's putting up 13, and that's going to hurt him. That's going to hurt him in his next. We said this about Brogdon. Like, he's now viewed as like a 6th man type guy after, being a starter and fringy, on the cusp of all-star sort of guy because of 1 year in Boston. Like, that hurts your next deal. And they seem fine with it.
Right.
So yeah, what do you guys, how you guys feeling about tomorrow? Quick preview.
I think the Celtics should roll.
High energy. Yeah.
We'll see. Again, Josue mentioned it earlier. Is Porzingis going to play? I don't think they're. We've obviously seen him play back-to-backs.
I think he does.
All right,
I hope he does. I would love to see him, and obviously Al will be back. So I like that he didn't play tonight. Al didn't play tonight.
Yeah, if he's in there, obviously I'm not gonna pick against the Celtics because I just think he's firing right now. Would be nice to see Tatum get a little bit back on track. Again, just not trying to do too much. Sometimes I think he falls into that trap. He wants to hit the big three every single time. He wants the fancy footwork and to step back three. I just don't think that's his game. I really just don't think that's his game. I mean, statistics would back that up. He can score in so many other different ways. I just want to see him do that more. But I always get up for the Kyrie games. I always think there's a interesting dynamic between him and the Celtics where it's like
not really.
It
is for the fans. It is because we're like, go. No, I'm saying
not really.
For the fans, we're like, go kill him. I hope JB dunks on him. But for the Celtics, they're like, my boy, you know.
Oh, I know. Well, I do.
Well, no, to me, it's more about that, though, John. You're right, but it's not. It's not like it used to be a couple of years ago where they're dapping each other up and damn near taking selfies. It's more like, okay, ready to catch his L. Like after they swept the Nets, I just feel like the way that maybe Ime has something to do with this. The way they see him is different now. It's not like, oh, look who's here. Oh, big brother. You know, it's like they're on the same playing field. They're even.
I don't know. I think it's like they walk up to him and Jalen's going to be like,
well, they will. Yeah. I mean, because that's just the whole league now.
Tell me how the world works, Kyrie. You know,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. That's just how that league is now.
I hope not. They better be past that shit because let's face it, man. They're too grown for that. Come on now. That was years ago. He hasn't won that uniform.
Kyrie's been quiet this year. Kyrie's been pretty quiet this year overall. I mean, he hasn't been in the news for like a bunch of wrong reasons, anyways. So, and he's just playing basketball. He's letting his game do the talking, I guess. So it'll be an interesting game.
I think he's trying not to mess this up, to be honest.
You got Luka. John's sneaky favorite player in the league, I think, is Luka.
Isn't it funny that like the two most like talented players in the league are in horrible physical shape? Jokic and Luka. They're not super athletic to begin with, and they're in terrible shape. And they could do anything they want on a basketball court. It's amazing to watch those guys
flopping around.
I do think I'm not gonna say the shine's coming off Luka because this year he's shooting it better, so the stats are eye popping. But you do start to wonder whether like a team
his numbers are insane.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team. It's pretty good.
You start to wonder whether a team can win with him, given like how much he has to have the ball at all friggin' times, and also have to wonder if it's like fun playing with him or not. Like I don't know how the Kyrie thing could work out at all.
His numbers are so stupid,
but his numbers are stupid good, and he just does whatever. It's crazy, and I know they're in okay shape, but like, come on, they're not. These are not NBA shape, you know. Sort of things, but I don't love their roster. I don't love the fit with Kyrie. I feel like they're like if we're both hot on any given night, or Luka could just go bananas and drop a 50 piece. Yeah, they could compete with anybody, but I don't love that team.
Yeah, no, same. I mean, it's another team that you don't see winning 2 or 3 best of 7 series in the playoffs. Like I just don't. You look at the rest of the Western Conference, and we talked about this after the Denver game, and you're wondering like which one of these teams are gonna pop out here and could knock off the Nuggets. I don't see a lot of them. And you look at a team like the Mavericks where, you know, they got two, like you said, 2 top guys that can have incredible nights and performances and all that, but you don't know if as a team if they're going to be able to withstand like that type of run where they would make a deep playoff run to the Western Conference Finals or so. I mean, look, I could be wrong. Again, I see them being major players at the trade deadline. I don't think this roster or this core or at least, you know, the top 5 or 6 going to look the same by the end.
Good teams.
We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see which players they try to trade for.
But I mean, good teams, both conferences. Everyone's saying the West is loaded. They are. But I mean, are you kidding me? You know, like, and I know it's fashionable. Everyone's like got Oklahoma City and Minnesota, you know, near the top of their power rankings coming in behind the Celtics. You got the Nuggets there too. Clippers were playing a ton better after they kind of settled in post Harden trade. But like, sure, I'll give you 4 contenders out West. You know, you're telling me there's not 3 who can beat any of those teams in the East? Of course there is. And then kind of the Pacers wild card situation. Pacers currently in the play-in situation right now, but obviously they were struggling a little bit. Halliburton back.
He made that trade too.
He just came back.
But they had to live without him for a little bit. So there's a lot of good teams, man. It's not, you know.
I'm telling you, the Pacers are going to be a tough, like, second round team. They're going to run. They're going to tire you out. And if you do get past them, you got to hope that it doesn't take you 6 or 7 games to do it because you're going to be dead after a series like that against the Pacers.
Yeah, right.
That would be my concern against matching up with them.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
I think they slide into a 4-5 seed.
I think so too, but that's a second round matchup for the Celtics.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt. That's going to be. I mean, in the Knicks too. There's a couple teams you really don't want to play. There's going to be problems in that. Going to be problems.
Yeah, the Knicks don't scare me as much. Maybe they will when we get down to it. But if it's between those two teams, I'd rather.
They're playing good. Yeah, but you're right.
They're like a tough team.
And then there's a Heat.
They play good defense, obviously. Heat, yeah, I think that. I mean that's got to end at some point, though, right?
I know. How many years are we going to do this?
When will the Heat just go away?
Like this is the year where they
I know,
lost a lot. Like they lost a lot over the summer.
But it sucks that they got like a top 2 rookie, picking where they were, and get a little infusion of life there.
Yeah, I know.
Jame's having a rookie season of his
life. You only get one.
But man, I've been dreaming.
Jimmy, center off, buddy. Jimmy's spending half the show like this. Come on,
because
playing in Miami.
I was looking at the stats over here.
Stay in your lane.
Well, you got the new camera. Now I can't move my head. I used to have the whole screen.
I love the Pacers.
Stop switching lanes. I hate people who drive like that.
It'd be great if I could pop over into yours though, but I can't.
That would be cool. Hey,
let's see if we can work on that.
Wait, so John, do we not have the capabilities of what we used to do with like the 3?
Yeah, we do. We can do whatever we want to do.
Okay, I was just wondering. I don't mind this one at all.
I was gonna say, I thought you liked this one.
I do like it, but
what we need is an outro, which we don't have, but eventually.
Damn it, Amit. What's your prediction, John, tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. It's a game. It's a regular season game. There's no reason to predict them.
No.
Team's going off.
Also, Porzingis. It's like a Porzingis return too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
With some time there.
Yeah.
It's a nice reminder for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8:30 start. I don't know if I'll be on this one.
Okay. Well, we'll be back. Bobby will be back. Sherrod will be back. I'm TBD. My class starts tomorrow, so I'm going to be running in late.
Yeah, Monday are always tough
it's on
for
the
you,
syllabus.
Huh?
The 8:30 start. It's a writing course. I like this one a lot, actually.
What are you guys writing about?
We do sports writing. We do all different types.
What are you guys writing about?
Like game recaps?
No, you do. It's there's you take the course, Jimmy. Take the course.
You don't want me as your student.
Sports writing.
But you can come in there. You can hang out.
So the people that are in your class, do they know the podcast at all? Do any of them know the podcast?
Some do. What's so funny? 2 years ago, when I did it, like 5 kids in the class knew me from it, and like a couple watched it every night. It was like weird because I'm like kind of one guy in the class, and then I'm this lunatic,
Different,
and it's just like so embarrassing, So like,
you imagine people like coming into a room and just like, what are you watching? Like my professor.
Yeah, but like a couple guys would be like, I totally shut up about JB, like there's a couple of people come at me on some stuff. But I've had a couple of classes where people like hate my takes, and a couple where they know it and they think it's funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you explain it? Like, do you get into it or no? I wouldn't.
I don't ever say like I'm this person and I host up. I just say like, I do stuff, in media and blah, blah, blah. And, this and that, but it's like, I'm not like trying to find like new viewers in the class. I actually think it's funny.
You got a question in here. Deflategate 12 asked you a question.
Oh, what was that?
Deflategate 12.
Says, can you ask a player to make an appearance to class?
So technically, it's not great. It's not great to use your media access to ask for things outside. Like obviously, like it says it on the credential, like don't ask for an but like that's not what we're there for. We're there to do a job, and that job just is talking to them and then covering them. But like you really shouldn't do it. If you had an outside relationship with somebody, it's easier with an ex-player.
I was gonna say you could do ex-players, you can do media guys, you could do a lot.
Yes, I do a lot of different people like that. I absolutely would feel it's not really ethical to do that and to go ask for favors when given the access to talk to these guys about stuff. So no, I wouldn't do that.
No,
but it would be cool.
You could do it, but it would be.
It'd be awesome. Bring the house down, right? Friggin' Jalen walks in. I mean, he goes and he speaks.
You get Max in.
I couldn't get Jalen. Jalen goes to Harvard. She's.
You're an Emerson guy.
Yeah, Jalen's at Harvard and MIT. He's not friggin'.
Sherrod's a BU guy. You're an Emerson guy. Yep. Jalen's a Harvard guy.
Oh, I'm speaking at Sherrod's class sometime soon too.
Oh, wow. That's weird. That's weird, Josue. He hasn't asked us to speak yet.
Wow, Bert.
We'll have to go together, Josue. I'll put you on my shoulders. We'll put a trench coat on. Yeah. Like, damn, Josue.
Yeah, that's coming.
Same thing with Sherrod too. Jeez, we didn't make the cut.
No, that's all right. You guys get to go on a bunch of podcasts. Everybody thinks you're awesome, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. We are gonna wrap it. Thank you guys for hanging out. We got another one tomorrow. Jimmy TBD, but I think we'll have the rest of the gang back. And again, that 8:30 start makes it a little more likely that I'll be able to be on as well.
Who else do they have this week?
Huh?
Who else do they play this week? What's their schedule looking like?
Oh, we got the Heat, man. The road trip ends with
and also
Heat,
check out First to the Floor. Everybody jump over. Listen to guys who actually watch the game.
Oh, nice.
That's a great pod. First to the Floor.
Late show.
They keep it positive on that show.
But they're also, they're going to talk about the game and not like, the 70% of me talking about my daughter's jump shot and like
moonballs.
Yeah,
and NFL playoffs. Jeez Louise.
NFL playoffs important as well.
Yeah.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah. Is this? Yes. Jelso only speaks at MIT.
Harvard MIT guy.
Yeah.
Jelso.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you to Amit for.
Oh, you hear that?
You hear that?
Hey, paw that up.
Outro music.
Yeah. Eventually we get a cool little graphic too.
Yeah, I love that.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Take care.
Later.